word, like he's literally ignored me the whole week. He's just been sleeping and napping and working. No energy for me now that I'm recording.
Weekend, baby. Can't have this.
No, please take it with you when you leave. Hi, Lulu.
You don't want this.
I can't have it because it's going to
Mother
snore.
doesn't want you.
Don't lie.
You've been cast out. You're outside the circle. You're no longer needed. Thus, I shall adopt your fluffiness and hold it gloryful and praise thee, Fluffy.
Wow. Do you see what I have to deal with?
Praise thee, Fluffy.
Fluffy and myself shall now leave it your presence, for clearly it is not wanted anymore. We are leaving.
Be gone.
Wow.
No, goodbye.
What? I don't know. I'll let you know when she gets here.
Usually this late, then.
Once or twice. Hey, hey. Oh. Also, I can hear Tweety birds.
Oh yeah, the birds must be... There's a tree like right outside the study window here. And
They sound so happy. Yeah, Bass just literally tried to phone me, but he took my phone with him. He just tried to phone me again.
Is he going to survive without you? I wouldn't be so worried about you being alone. I'm worried about Bass being alone.
Oh my word.
We are very proud to announce that once again this episode will be sponsored by Bare Necessities. Bare Necessities work closely with EDMA systems to bring the best of both access control and time attendance software integrations.
EDMA, or Employee Data Management Application, is a unique software solution designed to simplify a number of business processes, including human resources, employee documentation, health and safety, job costing, employee time and attendance, payroll, and finance.
To view the full range of their services, please visit barenecessities.co.za.
That's BEHRNECESSITIES.co.za.
Do we have any other business? No, we don't.
No, I don't think of it. I don't think of anything.
My brain is empty.
Yep, just like my coffee cup.
Um,
Oh, Jesus.
New plug for the pocket vacuum cleaner.
Have you looked where the plug usually is? You're kidding, Chanelle. Oh my word, he asks me where the plug is, and it's like the plug that we only use in one part of the house. I'm like, it's where it should be. Go and just look with your eyes. Oh my god, I'm going to kill you.
This is why I'm asking. Are you sure he's capable of staying alone?
I don't think so.
Not anymore. What's happened since you moved in?
I don't even do anything around here. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Okay, any users. Let me just read my disclaimer, although I don't speak about a person specifically today. I will explain. So disclaimer, the following stories contain graphic content and might not be suitable for everyone. The sources I use to find the information will be listed below, and everything I say is my own opinion unless it is stated as fact. And obviously I mean no disrespect towards anyone that I'm speaking about. So today is going to be a little bit different for me. It's kind of like a two-parter that I'm doing, although it's not the same case. It's an area, and then next week I'm going to cover a case that happened in the area. So when the case that I'm going to cover next week, when that happened, it happened in 2020. And I remember the case, like I remember what happened, the case coming out and everything that transpired after that. But the verdict or the sentencing only occurred last month, I believe. So I waited obviously until that was done before deciding to cover that case. And while I was researching that specific case, I obviously typed in the area that it had happened in. And then to my surprise, literally 3 articles popped up about this area specifically and how dangerous this area is and how much crime is happening in that area. And I just thought like maybe it would be a good idea to highlight, and maybe I could do this in the future again, highlight specific areas that are very dangerous and that have a high percentage of, criminal activities happening there. And what I've noticed is in a lot of these places, obviously there's not a lot of police intervention, and either there's not police intervention because corruption or because they're underfunded, which also kind of stems from corruption higher up usually, and just a lack of infrastructure in the city and a lack of care from the government. It's kind of like a lot of these people who live in these areas are forgotten. And who do we know that always suffers under things like this? Women and children, mostly. So flash forward to researching for the podcast, I typed in the area of where the victim of the case was found, and I saw a fair few articles saying that this area in Johannesburg is incredibly dangerous, as a lot of places in South Africa are super dangerous, and that's why I think maybe this could be a recurring segment, or a recurring episode, kind of diving into the area first and then going into a well-known case that has happened there, because I would never be able to cover all the cases that have happened in this area, because there's literally crime happening in this area every single day. That's not an exaggeration. So today I'll be talking about what's been going on in Durban Deep. So Durban Deep is located in Johannesburg. It's an old gold mining town, but the gold mines are relics from the past and have not been operational for more than 15 years. It's since become a very popular area for illegal miners to mine the leftover gold in the forgotten mines. I'm all for helping refugees and giving them a safe asylum and things like that, but I mean, I also understand that sometimes it's really difficult to get into a country and you just want to do what's best for your family and provide for your family. But there are so many other repercussions that come along with being in a country illegally, and especially illegal mining specifically is so dangerous. Not only is it dangerous for them and the rivals that they make with other illegal miners, but it's also dangerous for the people that live in that area. And those people can also be immigrants or illegal immigrants or whatever. It can also be South African citizens. It's just not a great place all around. And then you factor in that the government doesn't help them. There's no infrastructure in the town. I'm going to go into everything, that's going on in this town specifically. But you can already start to see that this is going to cause a problem. So there are around 30,000 illegal miners today, producing 14 billion rand worth of gold per annum. So that's wild. I knew it was big. The illegal mining was big, but I didn't know it was this big. It's estimated that 350 of these illegal miners reside or work in the West Wits area, which incorporates the Durban Deep area. Quote, Durban Deep, formerly nicknamed the Grand Old Lady in mining circles, formally ceased its operations in 2001. But growing competition for the 12 million ounces of gold still believed to be unmined in the area has sparked a deadly turf war in which illegal miners have been murdered by rival gangs and syndicates on an almost weekly basis. There's more than one group of illegal miners. As I understood, there's a group of people from Lesotho and a group of people from Zimbabwe, I believe. But nonetheless, there are rival groups of illegal miners as well. And I would imagine that some South Africans are also involved. It's not just, what I'm trying to get across is that it's not just, I'm not blaming it solely on certain people who might want to try and make a better life for their family and they come across from whichever country. But they are always going to be the bad apples. And when you start a gang, everyone kind of just follows the leader. And when you're trying to provide, or you're trying to make money for yourself, to just provide for yourself or your family, I think you kind of lose sight of what you're doing to people sometimes, and especially in a groupthink environment. Further along in the article, a station commander at the Roodepoort police station stated that 90% of murder cases that land in his precinct are related to illegal mining. That's a massive amount. So the earliest article that I could find was from 2016 with the headline, quote, "People being killed like flies in Durban Deep." In this article, they speak about a grade 6 girl that on her way to school saw a large group of illegal miners coming towards that way. Some of them were carrying knopkieries, which is like a, what do you call a knopkierie in like normal English? Not South African English, like a...
That's not the same as a shambok, right?
No.
No, it's just like a cane?
Yes, like a cane, but it has it usually has a round thing at the top
so
where
that
you
is
put
what
your
I'm
hand.
thinking of. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So it's more like rough.
Yes, but a shambok is like a lap.
A what?
A whip, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So many words that I don't know.
So some were carrying these knopkieries or brandished sticks, while others were hiding guns that they were carrying under a blanket. They were carrying it in their arms, and they draped a blanket over it. The young girl then decided to seek safety at Claw, a community-led animal welfare near Soweto, which provides veterinary care to poorer communities. So during this time, the young girl went to Claw. I am going to cover Claw a little bit later in this case as well. Its founder was in an informal settlement nearby, attempting to save an illegal miner who had been accused of being a criminal and was subsequently beaten up by the group that this girl had seen, these illegal miners. So he was also an illegal miner, but he was accused of committing crimes in the area, and this group of men that this little girl saw beat him to a pulp. So the group of men were reportedly on their way to the homes of the man's accomplices, and it was believed that they had been behind a series of crimes in the area. So this man that they had beaten up, it was believed that he was a part of another group, like I said, rival groups, who were committing crimes in the area, and now this other illegal mining group took it upon themselves, the article states that the residents of Durban Deep had some sort of understanding with the group of men that was spotted by this young girl, that they remove criminals in their midst. You can imagine this would cause a lot of problems, because now you're throwing in vigilantism in here, and vigilantism doesn't work because there's no, they believe that they've done something and they're going to go and beat them up, and they're not going to stop and say, what is your side of the story? Where were you on this night? Whatever. They're just going to go and beat them up. And now the residents are almost encouraging this and being okay with this group of illegal miners there, because it seems like they are protecting them, but how do they know that this group of men who are the vigilantes aren't going around saying that, it was this group that did all of this? In the meantime, it wasn't that group that did it. It might have been them themselves, but now they have a reason to go and take out their competition. So like I said, they removed the criminals in their midst, but they're also criminals at the end of the day. They're here illegally, they're mining illegally. Anyway, a witness to one of these so-called vigilante attacks said, quote, "When you go to sleep and you wake up here, you praise God. People are getting killed like flies. There's so much crime, shootings, and rape. You can't leave your house after 5 p.m. and the police don't do anything. All these things led us to take a stand. We held a meeting with the Basotho illegal miners, where it was agreed that they must make the first step and fight this group of criminals in their ranks, or they must leave Durban Deep. We don't want people to be killed in mob justice, but we don't want innocent people from our community killed." So I do understand. So it seems, like I said, it's a group of illegal miners, and now it's almost like they were one big group, And, some of them did criminal activities, but all of them are doing criminal activities at the end of the day. And how can you trust a group of illegal miners to now, I don't know, sort out the shit amongst themselves, basically?
Yes.
They're not going to do that. All this is going to start as a turf war.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start two separate groups, as they did, and they're going to just start fighting. It's like rival gangs at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's exactly
very
what
much
it
like
is.
Gangs. Yeah.
So during that time, it was believed that the group of men that these illegal miners were hunting down for justice, I suppose, trigger warning, were responsible for the shooting of a local spaza shop owner who thankfully survived, and the gang rape of his wife, as well as being responsible for shooting a 19 and a 21-year-old in the community. I'm going to go into it, but these things are not uncommon in those areas, which is the saddest of it all. In an SABC News story in 2017, a community member says that hearing gunshots in Durban Deep every night is a very common occurrence. She spoke about how a young 16 or 17-year-old was shot in the middle of the street for nothing. She wasn't robbed. She was just shot for what the witness said was fun. In an article in 2018 by SABC News, they reported that at least 4 years ago, so in 2014, water and electricity was cut off from Durban Deep, leaving the town in complete darkness. So I'm pretty sure from when I started reading more articles, I kind of gained the understanding that this place is still without water and electricity, or it had been without water and electricity for years and years and years. I don't know if it's still currently without water and electricity. If anyone knows, I would love for you to tell me. But literally years and years, they had no water and electricity, and they weren't paying their bills.
Oh.
I mean, it's a poor community.
Yes. Like, the government should be providing that for them. It's basic services.
It's a basic need, exactly.
What on earth?
So a whole town of people without electricity, without water. And I'm sure you can imagine what that does to the opportunities that they would have to get a job. Because you can't go on the internet, you can't go and look for jobs, you can't, try and make a better life for yourself because you have you have no water.
Yeah. That is awful,
how do you live
man.
without water? So it was left in complete darkness, and darkness engulfed the town. And surprisingly, like I said, those who suffered the most were the women and children. You can start to put together that there's no real infrastructure in the town, sanitation isn't great, police aren't responsive. Also, there's probably a lack of authorities in the area, and even the water has been contaminated previously. In 2018, there were also reports about children getting sick after drinking contaminated water at their school. The schools were literally falling apart, roofs were caving in, there was exposed electrical wiring, unsanitary bathroom conditions due to poor plumbing systems, and so much more. And rightfully so, there was a riot and people were burning the school desks and the school chairs and demanding that their children be placed into a better school. And I understand that, and I hate it. And people say, they're just breaking things. And if you complain and complain and complain and complain and complain and nothing gets done, do you not think that the next, and I'm not saying it's always logical, because the way humans think isn't always logical, but you are going to get angry. You are going to get frustrated. Your children are sick and they can't go to the bathroom in their own school. They can't drink the water at their own school. You don't even have water at home to give to them because there's no running water.
Yeah, of course you're going to get upset. Of course you're going to get, rightfully so, you're going to be angry. Like, what else are you supposed to do? No one's noticing you. No one's listening to you.
Exactly. So you're going to do something that's going to draw attention and make people listen.
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand the need for chaos sometimes, as
Yeah.
you know, and it doesn't mean that I agree with burning things down, but I understand why it's happening.
Yes,
because
of course.
no one's helping these people. And then you get, and it pisses me off. I was so pissed off the whole time when I was researching this a while back. Because then you get people in government who are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money, millions of rands a year, but then you get people that are still living like this in our country.
Like the money going to that politician who probably sits and falls asleep in meetings. That money should be going to basic infrastructure, basic needs.
Exactly.
I don't even want to know what.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what, like, the healthcare is in that area. It's probably nothing.
Non-existent. Because I'll tell you now, I'm going to cover this later on, but these literally, Claw that I was speaking about, the animals welfare,
Yeah.
people go to Claw for help.
Oh, my word.
The woman who's running Claw is helping people. People phone her before they phone for the police or for the ambulance. And that's why she was trying to save that one illegal miner's life after he had been beaten and stabbed.
Oh, my goodness.
So it just pisses me off. It really just pisses me off. A resident in the area recounted her ordeal and said that she and her boyfriend had been sitting on the local soccer grounds at around 4 p.m. when they were approached by a group of men who started swearing at them. When the couple asked them, you know, not what their problem was, because they weren't being aggressive towards the group, they just said, you know, how can you start swearing at us? You don't even know us. What's going on? The group of men attacked them. Crying, she said, quote, "As they were beating us, one of the men started trying to pull my pants down. And the only reason he stopped is because my boyfriend begged him," unquote. This young woman was able to identify the men who assaulted them. She reported them to police. Quote, "They, the police, caught one of them and asked him if what I am saying is true. One of the officers started slapping him around. He started crying, but while they were still standing there asking him questions, he ran away. They did not even bother to chase him," unquote. So these men that attacked the couple, according to the article, are part of the security, a group of Basotho men, which I mentioned from a previous article. So this isn't even the same article. So this is a year or something later. These Basotho men that the community kind of told to, you know, become a security group and protect them have now started doing this. The men, a group of Basotho men who force residents to pay them for quote-unquote protection. The group also forces illegal miners to pay them before and after they go underground. So this is like just starting to sound more and more like a lawless town, you know what I mean? Like they're
it's like mafia.
Exactly. They're just being run by this gang. And it is what it is. It's a gang.
Yeah. Like, I don't even have words. Like, this is just awful.
It's wild. And even though there were articles, don't get me wrong, there were enough articles, obviously, for me to like write a whole case on it. But there's not that much coverage on this. And this is crazy. Another story came from one of the community leaders. He said that hearing a woman scream for help while being raped is also another very common occurrence. He pointed to the house in the neighborhood and said, quote, trigger warning, "Last year there was a woman who was taken into that house by her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was a part of a group of Basotho men who stayed there. Once she was in the house, they started raping her. They would go in one after the other, taking turns to rape the woman. They started in the morning and it went on until late. I remember her screaming out, 'Why are you doing this to me?' They would tell her to shut up or they would beat her. But she kept screaming, so they beat her while raping her," unquote. He says they see this often, but there is very little that they can do because they too fear for their lives. Quote, "We cannot call the police because it is too dangerous. As some are inside raping the woman, others are outside looking to see who is looking at them. If they found out who it was that called the police, they will kill you, unquote. So I didn't even write everything down that this man had said because he had many more stories. But one of the other stories, it was again the same group of men, also another girlfriend of one of the men. And then he said something, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently it's like if you date one of them, they believe that they're all entitled to you.
That's so disgusting. Like, we shouldn't even call them men at this point. Like, you're not a human if you think like that and you do shit like that. No. You're less than human.
Go fuck off. Like, honestly, just I don't even know what to say, what to do.
I hope every one of those, quote, men get every kind of cancer and just suffer because you are disgusting and you need to just get off of this planet.
Yeah, you are subhuman, honestly.
Especially if you do this like regularly. Because clearly a woman is not a human being to you.
No. So earlier I mentioned Claw and the woman who founded Claw. So she obviously initially started the sanctuary to provide veterinary care for animals. But when she started learning about the plight of the residents, she started getting involved. It got to the point, like I said, where members of the community would call her before calling the police or the ambulance. In this SABC news article, they report how she had been called, trigger warning, by a young Zimbabwean woman, a mother, who was raped in front of her child. Quote, she was moving from a shack to one of the houses. She had thought that the house would be safer than the shack. But one evening while she was moving her belongings to the house, they caught her and raped her right next to the house. She has now moved back to the shack, unquote.
You really, like, have zero regard for, well, firstly, obviously, if you're just going to rape someone, but, like, with a child, like, their kid watching outside, just
like I said, I there's a lot of things that I didn't even put into this case because otherwise it would have been a very long case today, and also it was just really rough. But the things that the kids see in this community, like, it really breaks my heart. It really makes me want to cry. Like, horrible things.
How do you lose your humanity so much?
And this is where, like, I'm such an advocate for rehabilitation, but when I hear stories like this, I just think, like, how do you rehabilitate someone like that?
You can't.
It's so difficult to say, like, if I can just ship them off somewhere else and just drop them, I don't know, fucking in the middle of the ocean or something. I would never do that. And, like, I hate myself for even saying something like that, but I also understand because I would never want to hurt a human being, even if they are gross, because there's still humanity left in me, but these people don't have any humanity left in them. And there's a part of me that can't help but wonder, well, Chanelle, how much of their humanity was taken from them because of their poverty and what did they see growing up. And it's a vicious cycle at the end of the day. It doesn't excuse anything that they're doing currently, but you can't just look at it in isolation. You have to look at it as a wider problem because it is a wider problem.
But I don't know. It's just like some people just, something's broken and it can't be fixed. Which is unfortunate because it would be nice if everyone could just get rehabilitated and have another chance and get their life together, but it's so difficult.
It doesn't work like that always.
No.
So the woman was afraid to lay charges or go to the clinic because she is an undocumented foreigner, and that's what breaks my heart because yes, she is breaking the law, but she most likely fled from a horrible situation in the hopes of being able to provide for her family. And now she's here and look at what she has to deal with. And now she has no help, no assistance, no security. Quote, that is common. Many of the foreign women fear that if they go to the police or seek medical help, that they will get into trouble and maybe even deported back home. So they would rather suffer in silence. She says if she, as in the lady who started Claw, She says if a woman's partner works underground, that is also sometimes used against her by the men who want to abuse them. Quote, they will tell her to do as they please or else her partner will get into trouble underground. She further goes on to say that women, even those who are South Africans, are choosing to stay silent because whether they report the crime or not, it does not seem to make a difference. She has worked with many women in the community to help them lay charges. She says that in the time she has been there, not even one of the cases against women that she has reported has ever led to a conviction, so against the perpetrator. Very few lead to arrests, and the accused is soon back on the street. And as you can imagine, the repercussions of that are probably astronomical.
Yeah, because now they're going to get revenge because how dare you report them?
Police spokesperson Juliette Mogale says most of the women who are raped in Durban Deep are undocumented foreigners. She says even when they make arrests, the suspects often go free after a few days because the women back out. They are afraid that they too will be in trouble because they are in the country illegally. Quote, they are scared to report crime even after we have tried telling them many times that they will not get deported if they come, unquote, says Mogale. I'm just going to say how true is that statement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
She declined to comment on allegations that some police officers are bribed by police to turn a blind eye.
Bribed by police or the...
That's what the article said. It's that some police officers are bribed by police. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe the police who are friends with people.
The illegal miners. Yeah. They probably get a payout. I mean, as we saw, it's a 1 billion rand fucking industry annually. So I'm sure that police get, or corrupt police officers get a pretty cut of the pie if they ensure that these people can just go about their business and not be bothered. And by business, I mean their crimes. So according to an article published by Ground Up, the situation in Durban Deep has rapidly deteriorated since 2014, when Johannesburg developer Dino Properties bought the old mining village, which includes 2 dilapidated hotels, with a view to building up to 15,000 new low-cost housing units. Dino Properties has signed a joint venture agreement with Australian mining company West Wits Mining, which plans to resuscitate the mine. Durban Deep residents who have been without municipal water and electricity since about the time of the sale, and I think this article was posted in 2018, have been left in a state of limbo, fearing that their eviction is imminent. Neither Dino Properties nor West Wits could be reached for comment on this. So I'm just gonna fucking say it how it is. Shame on you. Shame on you for buying out this place and just leaving the residents in the dark. I don't know how all of this works. All I know is that if you have the money to buy a whole town, surely you have money for infrastructure. You knew that people were already staying here. Now you've bought out the town. Surely more must be done to develop the town. So, I'm not even kidding when I say there are so many more stories of women being raped, people being assaulted and murdered, and just general chaos that is happening in Durban Deep. The latest article I found was published by Power 98.7 FM, it's like a radio station, in July 2022, so last month. And they reported that the gang of Basotho nationals known as Marashia have been terrorizing communities in South Africa, especially areas in the West Rand, which we know includes Durban Deep. So this is going to be quoted directly from their website. So, quote, police spokesperson Mpiti Mopedi said members of the Marashia gang are usually involved in illegal mining activities in South Africa. Quote, most of them meet right here in South Africa. They cross the borders, and you can see that our borders are so porous, so they go to South Africa through those porous borders, and then they regroup when they are in South Africa. There may be someone recruiting them here and go and work there. Apparently, when they are in South Africa, they work with one of those groups so that they are protected or something like that. So she's speaking specifically about these Basotho men, where they come from and meeting there, and then they go through to South Africa, kind of not really together, but they meet up when they're here. They are in constant communication with SAPs on how to best crack down on the gang. Quote, on numerous occasions, you find that we have simultaneous joint operations so that SAPS comes this side and we go to South Africa, and we try to curb this phenomenon. Apart from that, you find that we have cross-border meetings, more especially with the Free State, Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. They yield good results, but as you can see, we need to do more. Unquote. This is still going on today. I'm sure we spoke about it. Just think back to 2 weeks ago when the news broke about the woman who had been attacked and assaulted on the set for a music video. They were attacked by illegal miners. This specific incident didn't happen in Durban Deep. It happened in Krugersdorp. But the problem is the gangs that are being formed by the illegal miners. And that in parts like Durban Deep, there's almost a turf war going on to control the grounds for illegal mining. That in combination with the weak infrastructure and no support from authorities is what makes Durban Deep such an incredibly dangerous place to live. One of the women residents of Durban Deep said, she's stuck there. She has kids. She can't look for a job online because there's no electricity. She can't better herself. She can't try and get out of here. And the plan was never to live in such a place. The plan was always to kind of build up to a stage where you can move out and move into a better community. My heart really truly just breaks for the things that the children must witness in those places. It's just unfair because you know that that's going to breed a generation of broken individuals who are just seeking home. They're just seeking a place to belong, and they're just seeking to be heard and be seen. There is enough resources. It's just being allocated poorly. And I don't even think it's being allocated poorly, because it's not being allocated. It's just being stolen from the greedy people in government.
Yeah.
Because these are the people that truly suffer. They're the people that bear the brunt of what the politicians are doing.
Yeah.
And what government are doing and what police are doing and the corruption that they have within themselves. These are the people that are feeling it the most.
Yeah.
When I was doing the research, I also saw a video where it says every weekend, or I think it's every weekend, they have a drive where the community, members of the community can come and get their dogs vaccinated and spayed and come and get food for them, most likely. And then also they have days where they invite children who've witnessed horrible all the things going on in the community, and they have a day for them where they sing and they play and stuff like that.
That's so nice.
The worst part of it all is that Claw uses JoJo tanks, tanks that capture water, and solar panels.
Okay.
To keep the place running. And those things have been targeted, obviously, by the miners or the people that are causing havoc. It's they're being targeted, and I was like, really?
It's like your only lifeline. What are you doing?
Exactly, and this is for the kids, man. Come on.
I mean, they obviously don't care about the kids if they're freaking raping people in front of them. They don't care, which is so sad. And why would you target your own lifeline? Because if one of those dudes gets sick or needs stitches or something, I'm sure they go there as well.
Go and help. Anyway, I need a pee.
Okay, I'll also make pee-pee.
Sorry.
Just go pee out all the anger.
No.
I swear, he's never in this room. He's never around me.
He's gonna miss you.
Shit.
Hi, Benny. Take a look. Why are you drilling? You're not drilling right now, are you?
Maybe.
I need half an hour of silence, please.
Maybe.
Just Can you close the door and take the dog?
Oh, shit.
Don't tease. Oh, just get out. Gosh.
That's my dog is leaving.
I do not understand.
Only explanation is that he's gonna miss you and he doesn't know how to deal with it.
Okie dokie. This is very short. This is probably just going to be a few minutes. But it's a South African, well, something about ghosts in South Africa, which I had never heard of before. So I thought, let me just cover it because I haven't done anything from South Africa in a long time. This is Agulhas Spookdraai. Agulhas is a town from the southernmost tip of Africa. It's around just under 4 hours away from Cape Town by car. I think it's like 3 hours, 45 minutes or something. Just outside of Struisbaai and at the entrance to Agulhas, you will find Spookdraai, or Ghost Corner in English. It's known for being basically the starting point or the beginning of a hiking trail that is filled with bird life and fynbos. It's like a nice nature trail, but it's got its own ghost stories.
We should definitely go and do that. Go and hike there and like do the, I don't know, read about this ghost stories.
Yeah, and it looks like it's such a pretty place, you know, and it's the southernmost tip of the continent. That's so cool, you know.
I've always wanted to go to... I've never been. It's so stupid because, I mean, we live basically around the corner. Yeah.
Maybe we should road trip there and go ghost hunting. The first story is of a woman who is not at rest. She was involved in one of the many shipwrecks in the area. However, she, I think, was maybe the only survivor of that shipwreck, and she later died in a nearby limestone cave. And she is said to visit nearby guest houses. One source said that visitors at the nearby Agulhas guest house refused to stay in a particular room since they were scared by a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes who came into their room during the night. She is also said to visit surrounding homes searching for company since she died alone in the cave.
I would piss in my pants if I saw that. We're not staying there. We're just going to go and hike there and then go back.
No, I was just going to say we can all stay in that room and ghost hunt in that particular room.
You will not catch me there.
I need something for EVPs and maybe a spirit box. I'll Patreon it. If you want us to do live ghost hunting and kill Chanelle.
Sorry, I was just becoming the first ghost that you...
Yes.
I'm definitely not going there if we have a spirit box.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
What if it turns on in the middle of the night by itself?
Ugh. Then we have to start your cameras running so that we catch it on video.
No.
Yes.
Kristin, I will never go to sleep because first of all, it's my fear of being perceived. Now I'm fucking literally being recorded all night long. And secondly... there's a chance of fucking seeing a ghost when you wake up the next morning, if I fucking went to sleep at all. Wake up the next morning, now I have to witness myself, perceive myself on camera, and then I see a ghost perceiving me. It's like my worst nightmare.
I don't even know what to say to that. We can have the bed where you're staying here and then the camera can face that way. So you're not on the camera.
That's fine.
So you're not being perceived. Then one of your problems is solved. Then you just have to see the ghost.
Yeah, then I only have to worry about the ghost perceiving me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that is definitely something I want to do because that sounds awesome. Then the other story, one of the founding families of the area, the Van Breda family, lived there. The head of the family thought that his wife was becoming too friendly with a Scot sea captain. So he shot and killed her.
Oh.
He just killed his wife because he thought that she was flirting with someone else. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great job. It is said that her bloody handprint kept reappearing on the wall in their house where she was shot. Like no matter how often it got cleaned, the hand would always reappear, like this bloody handprint. So the only way to solve the problem is they eventually knocked the wall down and turned it into a door. So then obviously it stops showing up. Then this other story is about a man who was decapitated in an accident and he now haunts the Spookdraai area. Trigger warning. It is said that his head was severed during the crash and, quote, it rolled over the road, end quote.
Oh.
which is a horrible way to die.
Oh, I don't. Gross. And everyone who had to witness that as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And now a headless ghost, like, wandering around as well.
Headless Nick.
There is also some land nearby that was used during World War II. So after dividing up the land, they kind of were creating holiday apartments and residences and stuff. 3 skeletons were dug up, believed to have been soldiers from that time. So clearly when the land was used for the war, they just buried people there. Some people say that headless ghost could be one of the 3 men that was dug up. Another tragic story from the area are they Mr. and Mrs. Klutter, a then newlywed couple. Mr. Klutter had been out, it said to sea, but I don't know if he went to the beach or if he was on a boat. But while he was out, he found an oyster, like a nice big oyster, and he wanted to bring it back to his wife so she could have something special for breakfast. Just like, ew, oysters.
Oysters
I know.
for breakfast.
Yeah, I know. And it was just one, so I don't know, maybe it was like next to the eggs or something. It's gross. Unfortunately, she, however, choked on the oyster while she was eating it, and he was unable to revive her, and she died.
Doesn't an oyster just slip down your throat, though?
I don't know, but she choked on it. Maybe it was a really big one. I don't know, but she died.
Maybe there's a pearl in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. What the hell? Anyway.
Yeah. So he was heartbroken and ended up taking his own life. He probably felt guilty, and
Yeah.
so now her ghost is said to wander the beach at night, mainly during low tide, probably searching for oysters, which is just...
Why would you think an oyster if that's what killed you?
That's what I don't understand. That was my thought as well. I'm like, she's probably not looking for oysters.
Maybe I was going to make a joke about... I was going to say, looking for oysters, and then you said that. I was just like, why?
Yeah, I would think, like, maybe her husband took his life in the sea and now she's looking for him. That would make more sense than looking for the thing that killed you.
That is big. I was just...
Very strange. But that must be...
Yeah.
But that must be, like, creepy. You walking at the beach, like, evening, it's a nice stroll, and there's just, like, this ghost lady walking there.
Yeah, I would never want to see that.
And then very close to this area is the Cape Agulhas Lighthouse, which was constructed in 1849. It's 27 meters high and has been guiding sailors for years. Back in those early days, some termed the lighthouse the Needle Lighthouse, since it made their that area made their compasses go crazy, leaving them unable to determine true from magnetic north. I think because 2 different oceans kind of meet at that point, and so it just creates this crazy magnetic situation where, like, you can't tell where you're going, which is, I think, why there were so many shipwrecks.
Yes. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty much all I could find. Like, I searched for so long, but, I mean, just think how many spirits must be there from all those shipwrecks, because this is from the 1800s. I would love if people would go and investigate around there. Not even specific the lighthouse, yes, but just the area in general. There must be so much activity there that we just haven't bothered to document.
Yeah. I'll wait outside the lighthouse, and you and Bass and Patrick will probably also go. You guys can go and do your little ghost search. But knowing me, I would then fucking see a ghost while I'm standing alone outside.
I was just going to say, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you put yourself in the position to see the ghost alone?
I'll just put my headphones on and...
And then the ghost voice comes through your headphones.
No. Oh.
You just
then I'll die and no, Kristin, go away. Then I will die and become a ghost there. And I'm not gonna fucking look on the beach for oysters all day. I'm just gonna rummage around in people's bags looking for chocolate.
Who has so much chocolate in their bags? I don't think I've ever kept chocolate in a bag.
I know my people.
I have no words for you today. So yeah, that's the incredibly short Agulhas Spookdraai.
Spookdraai.
Yeah. So we should definitely go investigate there one day.
We have social media. You can find us at Law and Omen.
We've got a website, lawandomen.com.
We got an email, info@lawandomen.com. No.
Yes. Yes. I was like, email addresses don't end with dot something. What are you talking about?
Me too. I'm like, does it end with .com? Isn't it .co.za? No.
Let's just never... Yeah. Let's just never record in the morning again. This is so weird.
It was.
Yeah, we've got Patreon.
We got merch. If you want to buy merch.
Merch. Leave us a review, please. Share us with your friends. And do check out barenecessities.com.
co.za.
barenecessities.co.za. And thanks again for sponsoring this episode.
Yes, thank you so much. And we hope you have a great week. And love you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.